feeling everything just without gripping so tightly. I know it's a weird process, but what's even weirder is how peaceful things get when you actually stop trying to control every outcome. So, on that note, I just wanted to sit down and talk about it a bit, what detachment really is, and how it's not the same as being indifferent, and why it actually helped me feel way more clear and grounded. So, yeah, I'll be sharing a couple personal steps too, along with a few things that helped shift my mindset. So, if you've been feeling burnt out, anxious, and just kind of stuck in needing to control everything a certain way, and you just want to go numb yourself, you're definitely not alone. So, grab a cup of coffee, let's talk about it. First of all, we need to understand what exactly detachment is. And as I've clarified, it is not caring. Detachment does not equal not caring. It's caring without obsession or control. It's caring enough to put your all into it, but not let the results affect you. Kind of hard, when you put all your effort into something you know, and then it goes wrong. It's kind of hard not to care. It's put you've invested into it, right? But what emotional detachment really is emotional clarity, not emotional numbness. It's not a I don't give a crap anymore. No, it's a I care, but I don't care if it fails. I don't care if it doesn't go as planned because I have mental clarity. I am clear. I am grounded. This is not going to shake me. It's choosing to hold on to things, to the outcome specifically, lightly, instead of gripping them tightly. Letting go instead of dwelling on what is out of your control, especially what is out of your control. So, why is detachment really important? Why does it matter? Okay, so first of all, it's freedom from external validation. It gives you back your control. When you are not waiting for someone or something to tell you that you're enough, you start to gain back your power. You start to take it back. It's like you stopped chasing approval and started moving for you. Because when you're chasing approvals, when you're chasing those likes and views, then then you're not moving for you. You're moving for someone. You're moving for something. Next, makes space for grounded decision making. When you're not emotionally tangled up in every little outcome, you can actually make better decisions, more grounded and less impulsive ones. Because you're not tangled up in the emotions and you're not sensitive. Third, it lets you experience life 100% instead of just reacting to it. Reacting to life is exhausting. You're present. You're not stuck in the what ifs or the why nots. You're just here. And that alone can change everything. I mean it. So, yes, we've kind of got a little understanding of what it is, what detachment is, and why it's important. Now, let's talk about letting go of the control. Okay, so there's an illusion to control. You know, a lot of stuff that we try to control, like how people act, when things happen or how things turn out, it's actually not up to us. Okay, and I realized that trying to hold on to all of that is really just fear wearing a disguise. like fear dressed up as productivity or perfectionism, which leads us to the cost of that control: burnout, anxiety, constant disappointment, resistance to change, and missed opportunities. You know, that, all those things that you think that you need to control, it can seriously wear you down. It leads, and the need to control comes at a cost, okay? It can seriously wear you down. It leads to burnouts, to constant anxieties, and just feeling let down over and over and over again by none other than yourself and your expectations. Plus, it makes you resistant to change and you miss out on opportunities that you didn't even see coming. So, honestly, yeah, sometimes life just gets in the way. Like, for example, I would plan to post videos every single day, like clockwork, and like I'd have this whole schedule lined up in my head, and then something would happen. Someone died, um, medical, um, health issues, or whatever. Or, I was just too busy, or just too tired, or I just didn't feel like it, and I would miss like 1, 2, 3 days. And honestly, when I first started this YouTube, I would freak out just missing one day. Like, oh no, I messed up. My views, my viewers are gonna leave me. Like, my channel's gonna flop. This is a disaster. Like, end of the world. I was trying to control every single detail, every single post, and honestly, like day one, day two, day three, it was kind of like okay, because I still kind of had, but I got exhausted real fast, and it stressed me out so much. But eventually, I had to realize that I can't control everything. Not my schedule, not my energy, not how people respond to my videos. And honestly, when I stopped beating myself up for missing a day and just accepted that life happens, I did my best. I, did like I was busy, all the things I did matter that day. I felt less anxious. I found that letting go of this need to control every post actually opened up space for me to create better content. And when I was really ready, not just forcing myself, it kind of gave me a weird freedom. That's when I really started to understand that sometimes surrendering control doesn't mean losing it, it means making room for something better. Now, there is power in surrendering. What's crazy is that when you actually let go, even just a tiny bit, life starts to open doors that you never expected. Life opens up when you stop forcing, okay? You stop forcing things to fit into your plan, and not, and suddenly you have more influence, not less, like letting go of control actually gives you way more control because you're not tangled up in the stress of controlling anymore, if that makes sense. Now, the uncertainty, embracing the uncertainty. Okay, so uncertainty is life's default setting, unfortunately. Control is always temporary. Uncertainty is always constant. Trying to avoid it is going to equal resisting reality. We like to think that we can plan everything perfectly. But the truth is, things change, okay? And a lot of it is out of our hands. And trying to avoid that uncertainty is like resisting reality itself. And it's just gonna make us pathetic, anxious, and stuck. So let's reframe the uncertainty as a potential, okay? Because we always gotta look on the bright side, right? Here's the cool part, okay? Uncertainty isn't just chaos or stress, as we like to think it is, which it kind of actually is. It's actually where new things are born. On a positive note, it's actually where new things are born. New sides of ourselves, new friendships, new ideas, and new discoveries. The unknown is a space where growth really happens. And uncertainty is an unknown that we have to experience on a daily basis. So it's time that we get used to it. We have to learn to sit in the gap, okay? And this in between space, that gap between, what's finished and what's coming next, it can feel uncomfortable or even scary. But we need to understand that it's also a transformation zone. If you let that space refine you instead of letting it define you, you come out stronger, wiser, and more yourself. So, when I'm making a YouTube video, there's always this moment where I literally have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like maybe the lighting isn't perfect. Maybe my idea, starts to feel shaky halfway through. Or, I'm not sure if people will even like it. Like I start out like, okay, they'll totally like it, but then suddenly I'm like, will they actually want to watch this video? And the thing is, I can't control every single thing, how the edit goes, how the final video feels like, how the viewers will react, because not everyone reacts the same. And trying to force it to be perfect, that adds stress, and sometimes it actually stops me from actually posting the video because, I'm overthinking it. But when I learned to sit with that uncertainty and accept that it might not be perfect and exactly what I imagined, it actually opens up room for creativity. I try new angles. I change up the editing, or even just let the video be a rough around the edges video like this one. That space between planning the video and seeing how it lands is where real growth happens for me. I don't know what your occupation is or whatever it is you're doing, but the starting and the finish, what's in between, is where the growth really happens. So instead of, rushing to make everything perfect, I let myself be okay with not knowing, and that making the whole process and you know that makes the whole process way more fun and way more real. So instead of fighting the uncertainty, try sitting with it and trust the process and see where it takes you. Let the space refine you, not define you. Now here's a couple practical steps to practice awareness first. Okay, so take a moment and ask yourself, what am I gripping onto right now? Okay, maybe you applied for a job and you're waiting for that email and you're constantly refreshing. Or I don't know. Maybe it's worrying about a project or a relationship or even how others think of you. What would it feel like to just let go of that? Just 5%. Imagine loosening the tight hold just a little. That small shift can actually start to create space. First things first, mindfulness tools. Try daily check-ins with yourself. Daily, every day or every like end of the day or morning. You choose which one. Ask, is this really worth my energy today? Or, yeah, when you're doing anything. If the answer is no, you need to consider stepping back for a bit. Breathe work, breathing exercises, can help too. Take a deep breath when you feel tension build up. Okay. Journal is also another way to observe your thoughts from an outer perspective, like without getting tangled up in them. For example, you write down a worry. Okay. Today, my girlfriend didn't reply to my messages for like 5 hours, even though she was online. Okay, write it down. And then just watch it like you're a curious observer instead of just jumping right into it. She's cheating on me. Okay, instead of just jumping right into it. Have those daily check ins with yourself. Now I want you to reframe your thoughts, okay? Instead of thinking, I need this to happen, I want you to shift it. Try shifting it to, I trust what unfolds. It doesn't, mean giving up. It means that you're open to whatever comes without stress. And this is actually a good thing because, like, if you're open to whatever comes, it means you're prepared. You don't know what's coming, but you're prepared because you're open to it. So when you catch yourself thinking, why me? Try flip it. What can I learn from this? It changes the energy from a victim mindset to a growth mindset. Next thing, boundaries equals a form of detachment. Sometimes detachment means stepping away from people's emotional chaos. Like when your friend vents like when a friend vents constantly, that thing is kind of draining, to be honest. It drains you. You need to set boundaries, okay? And setting boundaries isn't being cold, no, it's a act of self-respect, you know? Protecting your peace lets you show up clearer and stronger for yourself and others. Now, there was a time when I tried to control everything around my YouTube channel, as I've said before. Like from posting schedule to the way that every video had to look and perform, every single word that I had to say. I was obsessed with hitting certain numbers and keeping everything perfect and keeping the analytics going like this and not like this is maybe a bit acceptable, but like going down, no. I was like really obsessed with upwards, not downwards. And yeah, I was obsessed with the numbers and keeping everything perfect that it started to drain me real fast, I get frustrated if things just didn't go exactly as planned. And honestly, it took the joy right out of making the content. Like it was fun at first, but it started getting stressful, you know, when it became like not fun, when it became stressful. And at a certain point, I realized that I was holding myself hostage to this need for control. Like I started this channel because I wanted to, like I was passionate. I liked making videos, and then suddenly it felt like a prison because it became so stressful. So I decided to step back a little and loosen my grip and let things flow more naturally. I stopped obsessing over the analytics and gave myself permission to post when I felt inspired, not just on schedule. And that shift brought unexpected blessings. I started enjoying the creative process again. The stress lifted, and ironically, some of my best videos came up during those unplanned moments. I learned that letting go didn't mean Giving up, it meant trusting yourself in the journey, even when you don't have it, when you don't have all the answers. And yeah, on that note, yeah, that's a wrap actually. That's all I have to say. And that's it for this video. And here's something I want you to sit with. Where in your life are you holding on to so tightly? And what do you think might change if you just let go of it just a little bit? Maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a relationship, or a fear, or just a daily habit. Take some time, whether it's journaling or just sitting quietly with the questions and or chatting with someone you trust to explore that. So, letting go, I know it isn't easy because you've invested your time, your emotions, and you've invested into whatever that is. So letting go isn't always easy, but it's often the first step towards finding more peace and clarity. And with that said, thanks for being here with me. And if you like the video, check out this video right over here, or this one. Or if you're not interested in any of these two, you can go straight to my channel for other videos. So yes, I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye.